It was supposed to be just another day at the office for John, Sarah, and Mike. They had worked together for years, and their daily routine was well established. They arrived at the office around 8 a.m., settled into their cubicles, and began their workday. But as they started their shift, a strange feeling settled over them. It wasn't just the usual morning grogginess or the lingering aftereffects of a late night before. Something was off. At first, it was just small things. The coffee machine in John's break room wouldn't turn on, and Sarah had to settle for a lukewarm cup from the vending machine down the hall. Mike got stuck in a meeting that ran long, leaving him running behind schedule. As the day wore on, the strange occurrences grew more frequent and more intense. Equipment malfunctioned, papers went missing, and colleagues seemed to be acting strangely. It was as if something was playing tricks on their minds. Sarah was the first to notice that they were all in the same room together at the same time. She had been working from home the night before and had only just arrived when she saw Mike walking towards her desk. But now there he was, sitting across from her, staring straight ahead. "Hey, Sarah," he said, his voice low and even. "I think we need to talk." Sarah's skin crawled as she realized that something was very wrong. She tried to shake off the feeling of unease, telling herself it was just a weird anomaly in their day. But then John appeared out of nowhere, standing behind Mike like a ghost. "What's going on here?" he asked, his eyes narrowing. Mike hesitated before responding. "I don't know," he said. "I just felt this, pulling towards you too." Sarah's mind was racing now. What was happening? Why were they all acting so strangely? As the three of them stood there, frozen in confusion and fear, the office around them began to warp and distort. The walls seemed to close in, the air thickening with an otherworldly presence. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. When they came back on, Sarah was alone. John and Mike were nowhere to be seen. Panic set in as she frantically searched for her colleagues. But as she ran through the deserted office, she realized that something was terribly wrong. The furniture had changed, the layout of the space twisted and distorted like a funhouse mirror reflection. Sarah stumbled upon a door that she had never seen before. It was hidden behind a row of cubicles, and it seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. Without hesitation, she pushed open the door and stepped through it. On the other side, she found herself in a strange, labyrinthine world. The walls were made of mirrors, reflecting infinite versions of themselves back at her. She saw John's face staring back, his eyes black as coal. She heard Mike's voice whispering in her ear, "We're not who you think we are." And then she saw it. A room filled with rows and rows of identical office cubicles, stretching out to infinity. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. They were never who they said they were. They were all just pawns in some twisted game, trapped in this strange world forever. Sarah's scream was drowned out by the sound of typing on hundreds of keyboards, each one clacking away with an otherworldly rhythm. And then everything went black. The next morning, Sarah arrived at the office to find her cubicle empty and her desk covered in a thick layer of dust. She had no memory of what had happened the night before, but she knew that something was very wrong. As she sat down at her desk, she noticed a piece of paper on her computer screen. It read, "The last shift has ended."